What's up, everybody? It's your boy Toxy Boyo, and today we're going to be talking about a little fighting game franchise by the name of Mortal Kombat. This is a franchise that I grew up with, as many of us did. I was born in '99, so I probably started with Deadly Alliance. I remember having Deadly Alliance on my GameCube. I definitely played Deception and Armageddon. And at the time, I didn't really understand how fighting games worked too much. I was playing Soul Calibur and Tekken and stuff all at the same time, but I didn't really know what any of it meant. I just know that I liked Mortal Kombat because the characters looked really cool. And I still maintain that when you look at the big three of fighting games, Mortal Kombat probably still has the most iconic character designs. Maybe even the most iconic characters. Street Fighter has the most iconic moves: Hadouken, Shoryuken, Tatsumaki. Sonic Boom, and then Tekken I would say probably has the best gameplay. Anyway, I didn't know until much later that Mortal Kombat, at the time that I started playing it, was kind of cooked. Midway, their publisher, was on the verge of bankruptcy, and I remember Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe coming out and thinking it was such a weird and random game to exist. But I played it and I thought it was fine. But after that, we got our first reboot of Mortal Kombat, simply called Mortal Kombat. I didn't know about any of the behind the scenes stuff that I know about now. I didn't know that Warner Brothers basically bought the MK IP and gave us this new NetherRealm studio just to work on fighting games for them. None of that stuff mattered or meant anything to me. I was just playing the games and enjoying them. And on the one hand, it's nice that they were salvaged from the brink of extinction. But on the other hand, why did it have to be Warner Brothers? You know, because after MK9, 2 years later, we got Injustice: Gods Among Us. I love that game. A lot of people love that game. Then 2 years later, we got MKX. I didn't play that game very much because I didn't like the character designs or the roster. And then 2 years after that, we got Injustice 2. 2 years later, Mortal Kombat 11. And then 2 years later, we would have got Injustice 3, right? Nope. That didn't happen. No. 4 years later, we got Mortal Kombat 1, our second reboot. So I want to talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat and just how, the franchise has kind of crashed and burned into the North China Sea, and it might be dead. Mortal Kombat might be dead. And it's really unfortunate because it's it's one of the big three. When something happens to the big three, it's a big deal, you know? Imagine if Chris Bosch just got removed from the timeline, and then suddenly it was just, Dwayne and LeBron. Or if One Piece ceased to exist and it was just Naruto and Bleach, but we all remembered the thing that got taken out. Isn't that weird? Because now Mortal Kombat has fallen out of the big three. It's just Tekken and Street Fighter, and Street Fighter's far in the lead, which is crazy because 10 years ago they were way at the back. I don't get it. And I could talk about what happened with Tekken and with Street Fighter to put them in the positions that they're in today. But I want to focus on just Mortal Kombat today because it's probably, other than Tekken, the franchise that I've played the most out of those three. Pardon the interruption, it's your boy Toxy Boyo, and I wanted to take a brief moment to let you know about the Toxic Touch Productions Patreon. I'm not currently monetized on YouTube, but I still want to bring you the best content that I possibly can. I want to make those videos that you love, and I want them to be the best that they can be. But I need a little help. That's where you guys come in. If you want to support me directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/ToxicTouchProductions or click the link in the description or the pinned comment. For even just $5 a month, you can get your name included in the credits at the end of the video, gain access to exclusive channels on the Discord, and you get specialized merch at no extra cost. It only gets better as the tiers go higher. Go check it out. Thanks for listening and thanks for supporting my dreams. Now let's get back to the video. I can tell you what went wrong, right? And if we're being honest, it started with Mortal Kombat 9. that reboot was not necessarily something that the franchise benefited from in the long run. It was needed for sure because in Armageddon they wrote themselves into a corner with every character being dead. So what do they do in Mortal Kombat 9? They kill off almost every character. Would you believe that Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jax, I think Sonya Blade, Katana, Jade, Nightwolf, Sub-Zero, and several other characters get killed off in this game? Now, a lot of them do get to come back, but not enough of them. So what happens now is you have to do something. For the second time in the history of the franchise, the main character was killed off. And it lasted. It lasted. Liu Kang is basically not in this game. He's not in MKX. You can play as him, he's on the roster, but he's dead. Kung Lao is dead. So half of the roster of MKX is new guys. Off the top of my head, Devora, Kotal Khan, because Shao Kahn's dead too, and so is Sindel. Melina, who dies in this game. I don't even know why I mentioned her. Newcomers, Kotal Khan, Devora, Ferritor, Aaron Black, Kung Jin, Takeda, Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs. I'm blanking for sure. But there's so many characters in Mortal Kombat X that are brand new because they had to do that. Otherwise, you don't have a roster. And that's something that turned me off from the game right away. Kung Lao's my favorite character. He's dead. You know? Sure, I can still play as him, but he's not... It doesn't make any sense. So that, plus the character designs being really ugly, made me not want to play the game. MK11, I pre-ordered that game, actually, because Shao Kahn was back. And, you know, you shouldn't pre-order games. But I came back to the franchise at MK11, played through the campaign, and I hated it. I thought it was one of the shittiest stories I'd ever seen. But I was interested in this campaign for a number of reasons. Mostly because at the end of MKX, Raiden, like, turns evil. Well, not necessarily evil, but he's like very hostile, very intense, very brutal. And he's like, I'm done protecting Earthrealm from within. I'm going to start seeking out Earthrealm's enemies and taking them out one by one. You're either with me, or you're an enemy of Earthrealm. That's pretty freaking cool. But 10 minutes into the campaign of MK11, that version of Raiden disappears and we're stuck with the one from MK9. The one who's a fucking idiot. The one who accidentally killed Liu Kang. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and guess what? He's still stupid. He's still dumb. He's still dumb. But hey, Liu Kang and Kung Lao are back. They're not dead anymore. I don't know. I feel like a crazy person. Because then it's like, okay, well, we fucked up already. So we need to reboot again. And that's what the point of that game is to give us another reboot. But it's like, we just got here. It's not our fault you fucked up right away. That plus just like... Another thing that started with MK9 is guest characters. Mortal Kombat started having characters from other IP pop up in the game. MK9, we had Freddy Krueger, and we had Kratos. And it's very funny that we started with Freddy in MK9 because that alone highlights the biggest problem with this concept. NetherRealm lost the rights to use Freddy Krueger long after the game came out. And so now because of that, and because of the fact that they were only selling the complete edition like on Steam or in the PlayStation Store or whatever, it's been pulled from digital storefronts. So the only way to play MK9 now is if you have a hard copy of the game for your 360 or PS3 or PS Vita. Isn't that great? Isn't it really nice that, like, we're making these types of decisions still? because it only got more ramped up in MKX. MKX gave us Leatherface. Yeah, Bubba Sawyer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. The damn Xenomorph from Alien, the Alien. Like, the Alien. And the Predator from Predator. The Hiskuten, the Yautja, whatever you want to call it. It's in the game. And thank God, right, that Disney hasn't, like, terminated that deal, because they could whenever they want. Whenever they want. Because 20th Century Fox owns Predator and Alien, but they don't exist anymore. It's Disney now. So if they ever decide that they don't want to be associated with that anymore, boom, MKX is gone. 11 gave us John Rambo from the First Blood movies. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Old Man Terminator from Terminator. RoboCop from, you guessed it, RoboCop. Joker from DC Comics. And Spawn from Image Comics. Like, what's happening? What's happening? And the most aggravating aspect of it is that the base roster of Mortal Kombat is subject to so much change all the time. Like, look at a game like, excuse me, Street Fighter 3. When that game came out, there were no characters from Street Fighter 2 in it. Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li had to get added later. People didn't like that. Soul Calibur 5 made a very similar mistake, axing most of the roster due to a time skip. People don't like that. Tekken 3, on the other hand, gets rid of quite a few characters from Tekken 1 and 2, like Kazuya, who's dead. But we have Jin, who functionally does the same thing. He's a mix of Jin and Kazuya, so it's okay to not have them. Beck is gone, but we've got Hwoarang, who plays the same. We've got Lei Wulong now. It's okay that Martial Law is gone because we've got Forest Law, we've got Xiao Yu, we've got, like, there are characters that enrich the gameplay experience, or there's still enough of the previous cast of characters to make up for the losses. Mortal Kombat doesn't have that. Like, it's aggravating because, like, unless your favorite character is Scorpion, you don't know for sure if your favorite character is going to be in the next Mortal Kombat game. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Because let's skip forward for a second. In Mortal Kombat 1's lore right now, did you know that there's no Sub-Zero? Did you know that there's no Sub-Zero? Now, lore-wise, Sub-Zero is my favorite character. Kung Lao has been my main since I was a kid. I've always played him. But Sub-Zero is the coolest character, no pun intended, in my opinion, and he's my favorite character in the lore. That pisses me off, that right now, there is no Sub-Zero. And we'll get back to that in a second. But, like, I'm an Ermac fan. I have to beg for Ermac. He's only in damn near every other game. Jade? Shit. Same thing. Only in every other game. And it seems like they're never in the same game. I think they were both in MK9, and that was like the last time that ever happened. Is Ermac in MK9? I can't even remember. Can you believe that I can't remember? Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, because like I said, in MK9 they killed off half the roster, so in MKX they needed a whole bunch of new guys. Well, unfortunately, most of those new guys didn't really jive with the community, so we got rid of them in MK11. And Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs were the only combat kids to survive. Takeda, who was a lot of people's favorite, and Kung Jin were both gone. We kept Devora, Aaron Black, and Kotal Khan. But I feel like a lot of, like, Ferratora was gone. Hang on. Because I don't even remember who the hell was in these games. Oh yeah, Kenshi got took out. Reptile got took out. Goro wasn't there. Quan Chi wasn't playable. Oh my god. Oh my god. Melina wasn't playable. So yeah, like, hopefully what I'm able to express here is that from one game to the next, Mortal Kombat's roster is so volatile that it's like a pretty significant portion of the fan base is almost destined to be upset. Is Katana playable in MKX? She shouldn't be, because she's dead, right? So it's like, because Mortal Kombat is in a very, like, privileged position amongst a lot of other fighting game franchises, where every character, almost every character, is someone's favorite. Johnny Cage is a lot of people's favorite. A lot of people like Kenshi. In fact, Kenshi is like the only character from that 3D era that I grew up in, Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, that most people like. A lot of people really like Takeda. People love Kano, Melina, the Reptile, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. So it would be nice if they were all always there. You know? Like, Tekken has characters that will always be there. Heihachi, apparently, even if he is dead. Kazuya has only missed one game. Jin has been in every game since he popped up. Hwoarang's been in every game since he popped up. Kuma, Paul, Panda, Xiaoyu, like, Law, Fang, Lee, like, these characters typically don't miss more than one game historically. Right? Like, the vast majority of Tekken characters will always be there. At least that's how it seems. Look over at Street Fighter. Ever since they fucked up the third game, Ryu and Ken have been in every game. Chun-Li has been there every time. Juri has been there since she was introduced. Guile's been there every time. Cammy's been there every time. Dhalsim, I think, has been there every time as well. Blanka, now they fucked up a little bit with Street Fighter V. Blanka wasn't available at first, but he was there eventually. It's something that Mortal Kombat can learn from. Because after the reboot, and real quick, let's talk about the MK11 DLC. Because I mentioned hating the campaign of Mortal Kombat 11, it gets worse somehow. Isn't that, like, ridiculous to think of? That it somehow got even worse? Because there's a DLC that takes place after the main campaign called Aftermath. Clever shit, right? Well, it follows an alternate timeline of events where instead of Liu Kang becoming, like, the god of time, it's Shang Tsung. And so the two of them have to do battle, whatever. In this DLC, just about every character is written so absurdly out of character that it makes your head spin, especially Sindel. If you know anything about Sindel, yes, she looks like a witch. She looks evil, she looks sinister as hell, right? But she's a good person. She's a good guy, she's a hero. She sacrificed herself to protect her daughter and her realm from Shao Kahn. She didn't marry Shao Kahn because she loved him. She married him because he took her by force. But in this Aftermath DLC, when she pops up, she's not being mind-controlled, by the way, like she was in MK9. This is Sindel uninhibited. She's evil and she loves Shao Kahn. What are we talking about? Way to rob her of all of her agency. Guys, do you know anything about your characters? Oh, anyway. Timeline gets rebooted. Here we are with MK1, which I did not play. It looked boring. I didn't like the mechanics. I don't like this cameo system, or really any of the stuff that they've changed from the last game to this one. Because as much as MK11's story pissed me off, I still liked to play it. You know, it was a fun game. I put like a couple hundred hours into it over the course of a couple of years. I really liked the game to play. But this one just didn't look any fun to play. But let's talk about the roster of MK1. Let's just, you know, go through this one by one. Liu Kang, cool. I'm glad you're still alive. 2 games in a row. Nice. Sub-Zero. That's really funny. We'll come back to him. This is not the Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, by the way. The guy that was Sub-Zero in MK9 and, well, for the second half of MK9 and for MK10 and 11. This is Bi-Han, the original Sub-Zero from the very first game at the very beginning of MK9. The one who became Noob Saibot. Scorpion, who is Kuai Liang. How the hell did that happen? Because I want to highlight something else that's interesting about MK1 in relation to a lot of the other sequels in this franchise. Everything that's been changed in this new timeline, Liu Kang did. Like, Liu Kang made everything the way it is. So for Baraka to not be a Tarkatan, like, or like a member of the Tarkatan race, but rather to have a disease called Tarkat, I don't know what that changes. But Liu Kang did that. Like, everything has an in-universe reason for happening. Why did he do that? I don't get it. Katana's back, that's nice. Johnny Cage, but you'll never guess who's gone. Sonya Blade. Oh, but it's okay, you can use her as an assist, but she's not playable. No, neither is Jax Briggs. Oh, Kenshi Takahashi is back, everybody's favorite 3D era character. It's nice to see him. I don't know why he wasn't in 11, but he's back. Kung Lao, nice to see ya. Melina, nice to see ya. Raiden, who's kind of just a guy now because he's no longer a god. That's fine, I guess. Rain, good to see ya. 2 games in a row. Okay. Smoke, welcome back, buddy. Haven't seen you since MK9. Where you been? But, you know, I won't complain. Smoke is back. Lee May. Did you know I didn't know who the hell that was? Did you know I had to look that up? She's another 3D era character. She took over for Liu Kang as the main character after he was killed at the beginning of Deadly Alliance. Those games, like that trilogy of Mortal Kombat games, are the worst performing games in the franchise. So, a lot of people probably do not remember who these characters are. But they're back, taking up a roster slot that could probably go to Sonya Blade. Baraka, franchise mainstay, except for the fact that he was gone in MKX. Couldn't tell you why. Did he die? I don't fucking remember. Tanya. Look. I remember you being in Mortal Kombat Gold. I don't remember you doing anything. And I know you were DLC in MKX. But I don't remember you doing anything. A roster slot that probably could have gone to Jade. Because Jade does not really get to be in back-to-back titles in this franchise. Garrus, a newcomer from the last game. Aren't you glad he's still here? A roster slot that could have gone to Jax? Reptile's back, and he looks like a human again. I'll take that. Havoc. You know I had to look that up too? Apparently he's from Mortal Kombat Deception. Couldn't remember his face. If there was $1 billion writing on it. Ashura. I didn't know who the hell that was either. Sindel. It's nice to see you again. General Shao, no longer Shao Kahn because of the new timeline. Fine with that. Natara. I at least knew who this one was. So, I'll take it. Shang Tsung, understandable. He's like the sorry. He's like the tertiary main antagonist of the franchise, so I'll take it. Reiko, had to look him up too. Because when this game was like coming out, it was like making headlines. People were talking about the fact that like for the first time in decades, this Mortal Kombat game had no new characters. Everybody on this roster had been in the franchise before. I'm like, really? Then how come I don't know who the fuck a third of them are? Like, obviously I don't make these games. I don't have any say over what you do with the roster. You can do what you want. It's just really aggravating to me because let's get into the DLC now, which the first season of which they showed before the game came out. Omni-Man from Image Comics. Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat, but not in the base roster. Couldn't really tell you why. Peacemaker from DC Comics, made famous by John Cena. Who do you play in Mortal Kombat? Oh, I like Kung Lao because he's got a magic hat with a razor blade around it that he can use to teleport. And he's got like telekinesis and can control it in the air. Oh, that's sick. Who's your favorite character in Mortal Kombat? I like Sub-Zero because he makes ice walls and like can freeze people. Sick. Who's your favorite character in Mortal Kombat? I like Kenshi because he has psychic powers and a katana that he can control telekinetically. Cool. Who's your favorite character in Mortal Kombat? I like Guy with Gunman. I thought we learned from Aaron Black. Oh, but this one's okay because it's John Cena. Yeah, sorry, forgot about that. Next up, Ermac. Hey, buddy, nice to see you. For the first time in 8 years. Why do I have to pay for you separately? Why can't you just be on the base roster? Why is it like, why can't we have all the ninja on the roster at launch? Is it so much to ask to have Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Rain, Reptile, Ermac, who are the rest of them? Rain, Reptile, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ermac. Oh my god. Smoke. Noob's a special case, right? But like Tremor would be nice to have consistently. We don't even need to talk about Chameleon. And like, I don't know. It's just why can't we all why do I have to bargain? Next up, Homelander from the boys. And I know what you're thinking. Aren't his powers like strangely similar to Omni-Man's? Isn't that like kind of a waste of a character slot? Yeah. And I know that they have different powers. But they're both fly, move fast, hit hard man. Right? So like, gameplay wise, the primary difference is that Homelander has a full screen option with his heat vision. That's like, you know? But again, these licensed characters from other IP, if any company, like Warner's not going to change their mind on Peacemaker, but if Amazon changes their minds on Homelander, because it's very much Homelander from the TV show on Amazon, not from the comics. So if Jeff Bezos changes his mind, boom, game gets delisted. And then Takeda Takahashi, the only Kombat kid to still be here. I don't know how he got here. He's not part of the story DLC. Let's talk about the story DLC, Chaos Reigns. I watched MK Ice and Fire go through the story of this game, or this DLC. I had never heard the word chaos so many times, and the word timeline so many times. This whole multiverse thing has gotten really out of hand, and the Kamidogu are back. You remember the Kamidogu from Mortal Kombat Deception? So do they, but they look like Infinity Stones now, and we're dealing with the multiverse, which is like a thing that I knew about from the main campaign, which also didn't interest me. I'm over it. I'm over it. But it's like, what if we went to this alternate universe and like all the characters were just like regular Mortal Kombat characters, but like they looked a little different because we don't actually have any money to spend on like characters that you haven't seen in a while, you know? Like, why don't we use that to like bring in some characters that are not in this game? To be like, oh, well, you know, the roster's a little different on this planet or on this Earth or whatever. But no, actually. It's just, we can't make any new character models, so it's just Katana and Melina, but like, customized a little differently. And it's funny that they don't have any money because they charge for every little thing. $10 for a fatality. $8 for a costume. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Is the customization from the last game still there? I don't even know. Nobody's talked about it. All they talk about is how this game is monetized to shit because like the Chaos Reigns expansion was $50. Did you know that this game was $70? And the first pack of DLC was $40? So even if you spent $110, cough up 50 more? $160? You know that's a whole day of work for some people? You know that's a whole day of work for some people? Fork it over. Because they weren't selling the content of the Chaos Reigns expansion separately. No, you had to buy that story DLC and all the characters. But now you can buy them separately because nobody's bought the story DLC. Because people aren't interested anymore. But let's talk about the characters we have access to here. Sector and Cyrax, who are now women. And they are not cyborgs anymore. They're wearing, like, Iron Man suits. I don't care about them being women. That doesn't interest me in the slightest. Frankly, more women on the roster is perfectly fine by me. Could you imagine if Sonya Blade was playable? And, like, if Cassie Cage was still here? There's your two women you wanted. Anyway. I just have to ask, like, why? Why did Liu Kang do that? Like, why did he do that? Beyond that, Why are they no longer cyborgs? Did you know that Cyrax is like one of the most tragic characters in Mortal Kombat? Because I believe at the end of the third game, when he was reprogrammed by Sub-Zero to like help defend Earthrealm, he like was awaiting a new order that never came, so he was just kind of like wandering around the world aimlessly until he just shut down. That's really fucked up, but that's Cyrax. That's the character that Cyrax is. He is a tragic figure. Sector was really excited to become a cyborg. He tried to force Cyrax to do it. Cyrax didn't want that, but it happened to him anyway. But now they're just wearing Iron Man suits, so it's like they get all the benefits of being Cyber Lin Kuei with none of the drawbacks. Let's talk about Noob Saibot. Did you know it's crazy to turn Sub-Zero into Noob Saibot in the first game? You know this is a brand new timeline? Like, we just rebooted the franchise, and Sub-Zero's already Noob Saibot? Did you know that Sub-Zero being Noob Saibot was like a really big deal and it was a mystery for several games in the original timeline? Did you know that? And did you know that even though they fast-tracked Sub-Zero becoming Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 9, we still had a Sub-Zero because Kuai Liang was Sub-Zero? But did you know that in this new timeline, Kuai Liang is Scorpion? For some reason, I still don't know what the lore implications are of one brother being able to conjure ice and the other brother being able to conjure fire. I don't care to know, because it's stupid. But, yeah, so Noob Saibot gets, like, tortured by Havoc, and now he's Noob Saibot. I don't even know, like, what to say about that, to be honest with you. Like Sub-Zero was killed by Scorpion, and then, like, Quan Chi turned him into a Revenant, and that's Noob Saibot. But no, he just, like, was forced to watch, combo videos of Mortal Kombat 1 on repeat until he went crazy, and now he's Noob Saibot. I don't even understand how he got these new powers and what happened to his ice powers. But yeah, we've got a Noob Saibot and we've got a Scorpion. No Sub-Zero. So in Mortal Kombat 2, or 13, or whatever the next one's called, what do we do about our Sub-Zero problem? Next up is Ghostface from the Scream franchise. I knew it was coming, because we've already done Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface. I knew Noob Saibot was coming. Not Noob Saibot. I knew that Ghostface was coming, because there's only so many slashers left. We wanted Ash Williams from Evil Dead, but we couldn't have that because of the Evil Dead game that was coming out. A lot of people have said that Michael Myers would be more interesting because at least he's not just a normal guy. But no, we've got Ghostface. Ghostface, who dies in every movie, because it's always somebody different. Dies in every movie, and is just a guy. Oh, but it's Kira and Cobra as the other. There's 3 Ghostfaces in this game. It's Billy Loomis, not Stu Macher for some reason, but it's Billy Loomis, Kira and Cobra. Who the fuck are Kira and Cobra? You know, I had to look that up because I didn't remember who those characters were. Like, they hadn't appeared in 20 years. Who the fuck are these people? It's like, imagine if in Tekken 9, they were just like, hey, guys. Okay. Wang Jinrei is back. Get hype. Actually, I'd be really excited. I guess it's a bad example, right? Because, like, Tekken's roster has always remained somewhat under control. Even if you had a game where every Tekken character ever was in it, it wouldn't be the size of MK Armageddon's roster. So, like, you could excite people by saying Bruce is back, or Beck is back, or Wang Jinrei, or Gon Ryu are back, or Michelle is back. You know, like, you'd get people excited. You don't excite anybody by saying Ashra and Lee May are back, and Kira and Cobra are Ghostface. And then Conan the Barbarian, whatever, he's a comic book character, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger again, so it's, like, very hyper-specific. I don't even know what company they had to negotiate that with. And then the next and final character, because they're killing support for this game very soon, will be the T-1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I love that movie. I love the T-1000. Couldn't be less interested in playing as him in a Mortal Kombat game. I don't even know. The plot of this video is to discuss the downfall of Mortal Kombat, but it kind of just turned into a rant as to why I got really frustrated with the franchise. But hey, guess what? You're on my video, so if you made it to this point, I think you rock with me and you probably agree with a lot of the things I've said. They did it to themselves. A lot of it is Warner Brothers and their like aggressive, ridiculous monetization practices. But that's more of a gaming industry as a whole type of issue. I can't really just blame that on NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat. But a lot of the problems that exist within the MK franchise right now are Ed Boon's fault. And he deserves the blame for at least those aspects of it. So, anyway, what's your favorite Mortal Kombat game? Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character? What's your favorite fighting game franchise? And what's your favorite fighting game character? My favorite franchise is Tekken, and I like Hwoarang. But I don't think I could say Hwoarang's my favorite fighting game character. That's got to be Sub-Zero. Anyway, please like and subscribe and favorite and rate 5 stars. I'll see you soon.